Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's MusicWise. My name is Donato Cabrera. I'm the music director of the California Symphony and the Las Vegas Philharmonic. And this week, I'm so excited to have one of my closest and oldest friends with me to talk to us about many things, but mostly the duo that he's created with another friend of his in Vienna that has really redefined how classical music and progressive music can work together, popular music can work together, and the mindset that it takes, the creativity between two wonderful artists that can connect to really anyone. So without further ado, help me welcome Matthias Bartolomey. Hi, Matthias.
Hey, Donato. It's great to see you.
It's been a while. It's been quite a while since we've seen each other in person, but and thank you for joining us. It's 10 o'clock where you are living. And
my time. That's my time.
Good. It's the creative time, yeah.
Right.
Well, let's just dive right in. I've been so excited about this because you and your colleague, your duo partner, Klemens Bittmann, are so quite well known now in, of course, Vienna and in Europe with the duo BartolomeyBittmann. And but I want to introduce them. I want to introduce our audience here in the United States, particularly in Las Vegas and in Northern California, to what you do. So let's play without description this video.
Sure.
It puts such a smile on my face every time I watch that video, as it does for
Oh,
you.
yeah. I haven't watched this video in a very long time, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm really happy that we did it, and I'm also really happy that it got this reputation by now. And back, it's been a few years now since we put it online, and I think in 2017. I remember this day, on this Friday afternoon, we were thinking about, okay, the video is ready now, so I'm going to put it on YouTube and on Facebook. And I put it on Facebook, and we had a sound check, and we had a concert that evening. And and I remember looking at my phone 3 hours later, and it was like all over the place. It was going up, and like, it was the first time I experienced this kind of viral hit situation with the video, and it was really exciting. And because we didn't set out to make a video that would like be a viral hit or something. We just did it because it was fun, and it's still fun to watch also because there are still like scenes that I completely forgot that we did, and so yeah. It's exciting.
I mean, just the sheer scope of filming this video must have been, I mean, extraordinary. Who came up with the concept?
Excuse me?
Who came up with the concept?
Oh yeah, the concept. We all the three of us, like Klemens and Max, who is the guy who filmed the video and edited it. We were sitting together and we were thinking about a new video idea. So we were just brainstorming and thinking about different concepts. And actually, the first concept was to do this video in just one take. That was the first idea, just one like a one-shot situation. And so it turned out to be the exact opposite, basically. And in the beginning, actually, we underestimated the amount of work that it would need, because we thought, okay, let's do a video, same camera position, but different scene. It's not going to be that hard. So then 15 months later, we finally got to the point where we said, okay, now it's done. And of course, we didn't film all the time, but we had like intense days where we were just driving around the city. And maybe that's another important info for the video. It's only in Vienna. Everything happens in Vienna. So this is also a little homage to our city and to the place where we both live and where we write our music and where we get our inspirations from. So this has been, yeah, exciting.
Which brings me to my question, really, is how today do you describe BartolomeyBittmann? Of course, it's whenever a musician is asked to describe something in words, it's just like, well, come to my concert and you'll see what it's all about. But what you do is so unique and so beautiful, and so it's from the heart, but it's new. It's new, but it's also it's and we can talk about this more in depth. It's new to really, not new to you now, but maybe a new form of expression that was revealed to you yourself as an artist through the creation of this duo.
Oh, definitely. I have grown to think about the way that because maybe that's also an important idea of the ensemble, of the duo, that we set out to write our own music. We set out to write original pieces. We didn't want to go into the direction of arranging already existing music. We didn't want to arrange classical music in a more contemporary, groovy, rocky kind of way. But we really wanted to listen to ourselves, listen inside ourselves, and turn this into some kind of music. Turn it into pieces, turn it into compositions. And with complete freedom of genre, we didn't set out to be the tango duo or the duo that only does this. It became like a real canvas where we could express everything that we wanted to do and everything that felt right to us as a duo. Because when we first met, we noticed that we have this shared sense of groove, shared sense of time, shared sense of phrasing. So we thought we have to do something with this because there's a connection between us, and we want to go in the same direction musically. So let's just try and play with it. And the thing that I enjoy the most, to be honest, about playing in the duo is that we still preserved this freedom of the musical direction that we want to go, and still have an audience that appreciates this. And this is something that I think is not something that is as common as it could be. So yeah.
Matthias, we seem to be losing you here for a second.
Okay.
Well, so just let's go on to a video, the next video, and
okay.
Maybe we can resolve the technical issues before we continue. So let's play Dynamo next, and we'll figure this out. Thank you.
Okay.
That's such an awesome piece. This dynamo, and I think we've solved our technical issue. Let's talk a little. Let's go back a little bit. What you were saying, what I think you were saying, is this desire to be creative, and truly creative with the instruments that you have at your disposal, which have a history unto themselves that you both grew up with, of course. You know, learning the standard repertoire and learning how to play the Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, but you wanted to take these traditional instruments, but do something in a totally uniquely and creative way. Can you talk a little bit about this process?
The idea is that we take our really traditional, and there's so much history with string instruments in general, not only with our specific instruments, but in general you see a violin, you see a cello, and you think about classical music. That's like the first thing that comes to mind. And what we're trying to do, and what we are set out to do, was to widen this perception, you know, and show that music is not limited to an instrument. You can get sounds out of an instrument that doesn't necessarily people associate with, you know. So that's the fun part about this, because we, as you heard in the last piece, this is there are heavy rock grooves in it, and this is something that I really enjoy doing on the cello, and we really enjoy doing as a duo. So this is, on the one hand, it's fun to do, and on the other hand, it's kind of the idea is to make our own contemporary music. You know,
Matthias, I have a question, because were either of you composers, in a sense, before you created the group? Because it's one thing to play in a new style and to learn how to play these new sounds, but it's another thing to also compose music, which is a separate skill and a separate lifetime of learning.
Yes and no, because I wouldn't consider myself, and Klemens also, we wouldn't consider ourselves as composers in the classical sense, because we never studied this. We never took classes. We never went through all the theory. We just took this leap and this step into writing intuitively, you know, just like a songwriter would do, you know, like you pick up a guitar, you learn how to play the guitar, and then you just do it, you know. You don't think about the theory. You don't think about, am I allowed to do this because this is the right way to do it? There is only one right way to do it, and this right way is inside us, and we just have to listen to it and then bring it to the instrument, or find it on the instrument while playing. It's really a completely intuitive approach to the instrument, and in a way also something that has been done already in centuries ago in the Renaissance music and early Baroque music, where composers were much more coming from the instrument and writing for their instrument. So this is kind of I would say a far reach, but also kind of similar approach to the instrument, because contemporary music can get really complex and hard to understand, and also sometimes tends to be really separated from what's like what feels natural to do on the instrument. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to fill this gap somehow and just write our own music. And
how do you create the environment? I know that you both go on little mini retreats. How do you create this environment so that you can work together to create these new sounds, new songs, new approaches to the instrument?
Right. This has been like this right from the beginning, and this is something I would say rather unique, because we noticed that it's possible for us to to write all the pieces together. So it's not like one of us brings like a complete and ready piece and we just rehearse it. It's really from scratch, playing with ideas. I would play a riff for Klemens, or Klemens would play something for me, and then from this little element, this little cell of music, we would like put it together like a puzzle together. And this is a very intense process, and you sometimes it goes like really easy and very natural, and sometimes you have to argue about ideas or directions where the piece has to go. Sometimes one of us kind of takes the lead of the process and the other one kind of steps back a little bit, and this is a really interesting psychological dynamic that happens, but it works for us. For other, I have talked to colleagues of mine. They said I could never do this with somebody. I have to do it myself, or not at all. So you just have to find a way, and I really enjoy this process, and Klemens also really enjoys this process to do this together, to really dig into the material together, and also since Klemens there's in the next video that you will show, there's another instrument as well, and Klemens plays not only the violin, but he also designed a unique instrument for himself. It's called mandola, and it's a guitar-like, mandolin-like instrument that really adds to the spectrum of the duo, and is an important part for us.
I'm curious, going back even further, did you envision that this would be part of your expression as a cellist when you were younger?
Yeah, that's very interesting, because I grew up in a very classical environment. My father, he's retired now, you know him very well. He was solo cellist of the Vienna Philharmonic, and that's the world where I grew up with. So this was really classical, and I had many opportunities, which I'm very thankful for, that helped me in the process, becoming a good cellist and meeting great musicians and learning from the best in the real sense. But I also, from really early on, I would say like maybe almost 20 years ago or something, I started to feel that there's something else that I need to do. And it took a really long time for me to come to this place where I found out what it was that I really wanted to do. And somehow it happened after I finished my studies in Salzburg in 2010, when I shortly after this I met Klemens in Vienna, and he was coming from the jazz world. He was coming from the folk world, and he brought a completely different energy. And we met at the project, and I somehow had the feeling that I have to approach him, that I wanted to approach him and ask him if he wanted to meet for jam and just try different, what happens if you put us in a room together, what happens. And this was right from the beginning. It worked very well, and it really clicked in the musical sense. And it also was the perfect timing, because we were at a similar point in our lives where we kind of felt stuck. You know, I was done with my studies, and I was kind of a complete cellist. And now it was like, okay, what are you doing now? Are you going to do auditions? And I did lots of auditions. Some were terrible, some were good. The whole spectrum was part of it. And also Klemens had many experiences in different bands, and really successful bands as well. But he was at the point where he didn't know how it would go on. So we had this right moment in time where we said, okay, this works, this is fun, let's do it. And let's do it with a perspective, with a long-term perspective. So yeah, I would say that part of this was kind of always part of me, and it just took some time to get the right form. And I also have to say that I'm not only doing this anymore. I'm not only doing the duo anymore. I'm doing lots of classical music still, lots of chamber music, solo, and I enjoy it even more since I have like these two bases in my life. And I have to say, and I want to really encourage every young musician who might be watching and thinking about trying different things on a classical instrument. It's really worth it, and you can just experience and try different things and go into a direction that goes a little bit out of the classical comfort zone, and you might experience something that sets you free in a way and gives you a certain easier approach to the classical repertoire. Because I have to say, when I was done with my studies 10 years ago, I had a really hard time finding my personality in the classical field. You know, what can I say with a Beethoven sonata? So many great cellists have played it. It's really hard, especially for young musicians, to find their own voice and have the courage and have the self-esteem in the end as well. And going to this part from a different direction and learning a classical instrument without the repertoire, just you and your instrument and maybe some grooves or something that you like, just play something that you like, can also kind of put yourself in a more relaxed position.
There are a couple of things I wanted to touch upon. You now are in a position where you can help younger artists to explore repertoire, explore expression in a way, because you have just begun a new position in Salzburg. Can you talk a little bit about this new position and perhaps a little bit more about what your plans are with regards to exposing young musicians to this process? Because it is a process. It's not something that takes 2 weeks.
Sure.
This takes the rest of your life.
That's true. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. I'm starting as a professor at the Mozarteum in Salzburg in 2 weeks. So in October it starts, and this is very exciting because I've been studying there with Clemens Hagen from the Hagen Quartet, and to come back to this great institution in this different way is a big honor, and I'm really looking forward. And I think it's a classical professorship. So I'm gonna teach the repertoire, and I'm gonna work with the young musicians on the classical repertoire. And of course, I will be focusing as well on, or I would say I will offer it, because it's not for everybody, you know. I have experienced lots of freedom, and it helped me so much in going back to the classical music. And I just want to offer it for everybody who's interested in it. And I think to be able to teach at such a high prestigious university gives me also the possibility to reach people who really will be musicians professionally, you know. And this is kind of a really high level standard that is going to happen there. And yeah, I will see how it goes. It starts very soon, and of course right now it's all a bit strange and weird, and we have to see how the pandemic turns out in the next months, and how free we will be able to move. I have a really talented young cellist from Venezuela, who I took into my class, but right now it's not possible for him to travel. So I have to see how this goes, and I hope he will be able to come eventually. Yeah.
You mentioned also that when you began this project with Klemens, that it was with the intention of being longer term.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to do a project that you might do together for yourselves and create opportunities, but it's another thing to have it develop into what it has, which is now an ensemble, that a duo that performs around Europe, that has you have a team, you have your own van, you have you have a label, you have management, you have these things that are now around this. It's now an enterprise. It's its own self-sustaining creation. And what is it like now? Because the next video, as you mentioned, is with not only Klemens, but with an incredible soloist that we all love, Janine Jensen, at a festival that took place. This was not that long ago, actually. It was
in December 19. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. I remember. That's right. That's correct. In December. And now you are. It's in a way. It's so commendable, because, as you know, these things can change over time, and they develop a lot. It's its own life. Tell us about how you have, the two of you, been able to sustain and grow this creation together.
Yeah, it's a delicate thing to take care of, because you spend a lot of time together and you get really caught up in a lot of things. But I have to say that we also have a way to get through all the kind of things that come in our way, and kind of difficulties that we have to face. I have to say that there's one thing that Günther Pichler from the famous Albenberg Quartet once said, or I think it was Valentin Erben, the cellist, which was also a teacher of mine, that it's important to have a goal that you share. And I have to say that in all those years that we have been playing now with the duo, and it has been, I think we are in our 9th year now of playing, and this is we never lost sight of the goal that we want to go. Nevertheless, what happened, we always enjoyed playing live on stage, and we always enjoyed writing new music. So this is kind of a lucky thing, I guess, and we share this idea of developing something over time and really dedicate ourselves to it. I think that is something, maybe also something that is like a healthy thing to do in our time, where you're busy with so many things, and sometimes you have to do different projects in order to get along. But I really enjoy this. It's a slow process also, you know. We're not the same like we were in the beginning, and our music is not the same. And this is beautiful to experience how the music changes, how it gets more, I don't know, how it gets more special or unique, or more the way maybe it should sound. Maybe also one of the ideas that, or one of the things that we set out to do was to develop and create our own repertoire, you know. So if you ask me, because in the beginning you said, what is it? What is the music like, or how could I label it? How could I put a name on it? And of course, like you said, just come to my concert and you will see. We thought maybe there's going to be a point, and this is also the biggest compliment that anybody can make us. And sometimes people are saying this, and this is really a great thing that people are thinking about this. You guys sound like yourselves. You sound like Bartolomey-Bittmann, and this is kind of the goal that we have, that we create a universe that exists as its own entity and in its own characters and genres that we pick from every side. There's pop music, there's rock music, there's classical music. You hear maybe some avant-garde influences. You hear some everything that we experience now, because we live in a post modern time where so many things have been done. It's not possible to do anything really new, but it's possible to do something unique, and that's what we are trying to do.
Tell us a bit about the song that we're about to hear in the video, because this is in many ways one of your signature songs. It's not quite. Where does this song normally fit now on your concerts? Is it something you begin with or end?
It's something we end now with the concert with, because it's a really positive and lively and full of energy piece that releases the people into like a good vibe. And we haven't been playing the piece for a very long time. In the beginning, we have been playing it all the time. Then there was a time where we didn't play it at all. And now we started to playing it again because we thought it's not a bad piece, so let's just do it. and also the video that you're about to show with Janine Jansen, which has been one of our highlights in our career so far. She invited us to her festival in the Netherlands in December 2019, and she also asked if it's maybe possible that we do something with her, and we invite her on the stage. And this is a huge honor for us, and so we wrote an arrangement of this piece that we have been playing from the beginning of our duo career. And yeah, I mean, it's you will hear it for yourself. It was great fun, and we were very happy that she also enjoyed it very much. So.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
You even got her to sing.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was great.
The energy that the audience always gives to you in these concerts must be, in a way, a validation of this spirit of creativity, of searching for something new. And I'm curious, because you mentioned that, of course, while you have this incredible duo, you also still play the wonderful sonatas of Beethoven and the Bach cello suites, etc., Brahms. Has this informed, and you have mentioned this a little bit, but talk a little bit more about this. How does this exploration inform the way you make music now in the other aspects of your career?
Let me just say to the first part that you said. I think it's a really important part, and you really recognize it the more you play live, and the more you go into a certain direction, and because we have been playing our music for a very long time now, and this can be challenging as well, because when you play the piece for the 200th time, to find this spark and this freshness, it can be challenging, and that's one of the moments when it gets really important, that the reaction of the audience is a kind of appreciative reaction. Then suddenly I have those moments pretty often, where I think, okay, am I feeling it right now? And it's a little bit different. It's a little bit hard now, and I'm not really in the music. And the reaction of the audience is sometimes so appreciative, and I think, and this gives me so much energy back, and so much motivation to keep on doing this, and to keep striving for new music, and for more concerts, and just keep on doing it. So as a musician, I would say it's a really 50-50, I would almost say, a situation that on the one hand, you spend so much time alone, and you spend time with yourself, and practicing and trying different ideas, and also with the duo, we're spending so much time in the in a room, writing new songs, and getting excited about it, And the moment where you put it on stage, it gets really important how the audience reacts. I have to say, honestly, it's not something that I would say I go on the stage and I just don't care what anybody would say to it. It has become an important part of the cycle of being a musician, and like you saw in the video, getting such a reaction from the audience gives us so much energy and motivation back. And yeah, and concerning the classical field and the classical music and the classical repertoire, what I found to be really true in the last years is that all those differences between genres, and is it jazz, rock, pop, classical, is it old music, or is it music that has been written yesterday? Nothing of this matters. It only matters if it's a music that you can connect to, and a music that you like. And I really don't care anymore if it's something that's been written 200 years ago or yesterday. So the only thing that I would say, for me personally, that has become really important is that writing my own music and writing our own music together with Klemens has become something that is really connected to our time now. And this is something that kind of that I developed a need for. You know, I need something that happens now that feels really contemporary in a true sense. And no matter how great the great masterpieces of the classical repertoire are, at some point, at one element kind of always is missing for me, and that's this time and this time element that. Of course, the music of Mozart and Beethoven is timeless in a way. That's completely true. But it has been written in its own time, and you know what I mean. Somehow, I don't know.
Well,
is that making sense?
No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. It brings us actually in an interesting way to the person behind the title of the next video. Because Encore is, and I'd like for you to talk about what he meant, obviously, how you, with the work that you had with him, and I remember a particular story that you can share in more detail about you working with him on the recitative of the Mozart operas. I saw Così fan tutte that he conducted.
Right. Yeah.
Theater an der Wien, but his incredible ability to give meaning to whether it was a Bach cantata or Porgy and Bess, that he found a way to take everyone, all of his musicians in the Concertus Musicus Wien, which you play in, and really get to what you are discovering in BartolomeyBittmann.
Right.
Talk a little bit about why you wrote this piece, and when you wrote it, and about Nicholas Onencourt.
Right. So I got the great chance to enter the Concertus Musicus almost in the same time that the duo started. So it's almost like 8-9 years ago, and starting from back then, it has been the duo on the one hand, and it has been Concertus Musicus, and really intensely working with Nicholas Onencourt on great pieces. We played so many really also very famous classical pieces, and kind of rediscovered those pieces with him. And it's true that he was, in a true sense, somebody who had this desperate need for expression in classical music, and to awake this spark in people again that this music had back in the days, you know. And this was I would maybe to put it in a nutshell, this was maybe one of his really main goals, to get people excited again, to get people moved again, to get people irritated again, you know, all the things that can happen, and to get people away from this kind of it's not, you know, this kind of just appreciative holy thing, and get back into the dirt of the music that all those composers had. And so working with him was filled with liveliness, with contrasts, with I would say with courage, with unconventional approaches to music, always with the main goal of reaching the people again, with a music that is really old and has been listened to many times. And for this he took sometimes extreme measures. I think I told you the story about a Symphonie mit dem Paukenschlag, the famous Haydn Symphony. In the second movement, there's this loud. I'm sorry, there's the mail program. I'm really sorry. I have to.
It's okay.
um, where there's the loud bang of the pauke in the second movement. And he said in the rehearsals that we can't play it like this because everybody knows that there's this bang, and so we have to do something different. We have to get people jumping out of their chairs, and otherwise it doesn't make any sense to do it, because Haydn intended to do it to get this effect, and nowadays everybody, yeah,
it's not a surprise. If it can, it always must still be a surprise.
Sure, that's right. So to make it short, he thought about many different approaches, and he decided to. It was in the big Golden Hall in the Vienna Musikverein, and he decided to, at the moment of the Big Bang, he pressed this red button that is only used for New Year's concerts, with the big confetti bomb going off, Big Bang, and at the top of the organ. And so this was really a big surprise for everybody, and the audience went nuts. So this, some people might say, yeah, but you can't do that. That's Haydn. That's like, you have to appreciate, and that's it. But I think this is something that, why not? You know, that's it gives it doesn't disrespect the music. It just helps it a little bit to bring it in our time, in our loud and crazy times. So that's just one example. And we dedicated this piece to him because he, in a way, is a big part of the duo. He's a big inspiration still, even though he's not with us anymore. And yeah.
Let's watch.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely tribute to an amazing individual.
Yeah, and it's also something that maybe adds to the videos that you showed before, because what we're also trying to do in our concerts and on our CDs and in general in the way that we want to present our music is to give a spectrum of storytelling. You know, we have heavy grooves, we have aggressive parts, we have groovy parts, we have celebrating parts, and we have ballads that are really sensitive and intimate. So in the end, maybe one can summarize it with we're trying to tell interesting stories. We're trying to tell stories that go through the motions and have contrasts and all these things.
Well, Matthias, thank you so much for joining us for this hour and sharing your incredible music. It's such a it's so inspiring to see two people exploring new things together and creating something that is entirely their own. And I always look forward to the next project with the two of you, and of course,
we're working on.
good, yes, and of course to see you again soon.
Oh yeah,
as friends. Yeah. So thank you again, Matthias. And
Don, thank you so much for having me, and it's been a pleasure talking to you and everybody who's here live with us. And it's a difficult time. It's a crazy time now, and it's great to connect. And even though we're at the opposite parts of the world, and yeah, thank you for having me.
We'll see you all next week, and take care.